If you like what we do here, be sure to like and subscribe. Even support us on Patreon. Now let's go. Just say hello and get to the fucking point.
I believe in you.
Welcome. Commander, Pauper Commander players. I was going to say Commander players. Holy shit. two blunders in the first 30 seconds. Well, you know why you're here. It's the day after a tournament. And for every tournament, there is a winner. Or four. So, it's the day after Common Cause 8. Is it 8? Holy moly.
Yeah.
Common Cause 8. The reason why I've asked Bobby to be here is because, well, for many reasons, he is technically the points winner, the points leader out of the four who split the top four. I would be third out of that, and in Alkadron at second, and DrSebLeaf, Sebastian Leaf is number 4 out of that top 4 for Common Cause 8. So, why did you split, Clay? Well, I'll tell you. The God's honest truth is we're all very kind sons of bitches, and because of that benevolence, we felt compelled to tie in all the winnings and donate that. That's not exactly how it happened. I'm making it sound all
Yeah, we're just so great, you know.
Thank you. Thank you for putting an exclamation point on that. No, it got towards the end, and the discussion that I'm willing to share anyway is that we all agreed that we had a great day of Magic, and there was this option to donate all the winnings to charity, and that turned out to be a great idea. I put in a rider to have Bobby commit to doing this interview as part of that agreement. So here we are, doing the Common Cause 8 Winners Circle, which I am kind of a part of, which is weird. I didn't think this through. Somebody help me. So yeah. So how we both played Weavers.
Yeah.
In the playing of Weavers, I think we reminded a whole lot of people. Bobby won 4 out of 5. Yeah, so
no, I went 4-0, and then we didn't play the finals. So yeah.
So you won 4, I won 2. So Weavers is 6-2 on the day. People have been reminded appropriately that if you don't have removal on turn 4, shit's gonna get real. So we've done our deed. At least I feel like we've done our deed. We have our list pulled up, and I'll post both of mine and Bobby's individual list on there. Oh, as long as if we're doing the Weavers too, might as well put the Shaljun and the Skirmish Rhino, which was legal ahead of Tarkir's release in this tournament. I'll put all 4 of those lists, all outstanding lists, outstanding pilots. I mean, if you've never played against Alk, sitting across from a Shaljun, that shit gets crazy kind of quick, because it's like, that's 10 artifacts that he has over there, so that's an end of turn 5 damage every single time, whenever he wants to, and that's not without even tapping his lands, right? So
yeah, big and sweet. So
yeah, you should definitely take a look at those top 4 lists. Skirmish Rhino, Seb's I don't know whether to call him DR or Seb or Leaf. I know his full name, so I give him the government name when I talk about him. But most people call him DrSebLeaf because that's what it's, in Discord. He has a persist combo variant of Skirmish Rhino. Persist combo is not a typical combo line that we see at the competitive level, because the pieces are really hard to kind of put together, and I wouldn't say we've never had a 3-color option to do so, but the color combinations usually aren't conducive to putting, those pieces together. So I digress.
Yeah. We only had Armament Core and Abzan before, and we got real commanders in these wedges now.
We got real commanders. So yeah, so we'll start at round number 2. How was your round number 2 and on?
Yeah, round 1 was, the game was good once we played too. But yeah, it was good. So I'll just go through round and list the decks. So round 1, we ended up playing a 3-player game. It was Gut Leader and Mystic Enforcer, so Dax and Beachbod in round 1. Round 2 was against you. Who else did we play? My memory's blanking. It was me, you. I should probably have pulled this up, huh?
I'm horrible too, so
yeah. Let me pull up the old pairings real quick. That game, you and I were like in an arms race to see who could combo first.
I was in the first seat. Yeah. So I had the first opportunity to combo. I missed my +1/+1 counter because Vigian, my list, which we'll talk about later, is very Vigian Graph Mage forward. So I play a lot of effects that put +1/+1 counters on a creature. So I missed my opportunity within drawing cards to get that type of effect, which, as Bobby and I talked about earlier today, wouldn't have mattered because had I went to combo, he would have had counter magic in hand, which I would not have had protection. I think I mulled to 5. So
yeah. That game was cool. We also had a newer player to the format, Ashy, who was on Soul Herder. Then we had your friend who was on
two new friends, yeah.
Abdul. And I think he kept a 1-lander and just kind of got punished, like didn't do anything that game, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And the Soul Herder, was doing things. It just wasn't as quick as we were doing things, and ended up tapping out, on the crucial turn to try to develop, and then just gave the two of us openings to try to capitalize on. And I was the fortunate one to get to capitalize on it at the end of the day. But that was good. And then I guess another note about round 1 before we keep going, like there are also 3 draws in round 1, which led to really, so after round 1, you and I were the only one who had a win on the day, which made math for the rest of the tournament really funky.
Mm-hmm.
And then round 3, so I played against the other Rhino deck, Max. I played against Azrael on Beam Splitter Mage, which is really cool. And I played against South on Galanra Glacian. I barely eked out a win there. Lots of interaction the whole time.
That Galandra deck starts off kind of slow, but after a certain point, it's like big thing, big thing, big thing, big thing. It's like this never-ending stream of big things.
Yeah, and he had an Aether Spell Bomb in play early, so I was just like, I have to have at least one thing to get around that, the rest of the game. If not more, because other people are gonna, chime in with spells along the way. But I barely eked out that one. The Beam Splitter Mage deck could have pinged a lot more, and I probably would have died earlier in that game if he had. But he was also in a weird spot where the Rhino was really doing a number on me and South, life total wise early, and so he wanted to not kill us before that early, and then have to deal with Rhino one-on-one. I think we talked about it a little bit, but it just ended where there was a little bit of tapping low from some people, and I had enough interaction to kind of pull off a win when I was at 3 life, so I didn't really have a choice but to go for it anymore. And then round 4 was also an insane game. It was against, so 3 of the top 4 were in that pod. Seb, me, Alk, and South again. And that game was especially gross because Seb had tried to combo off with persist combo, forcing interaction from South. Alkadron had Aether Spellbomb and Lightning Spirit in play the whole time, which are the two pieces of onboard interaction I have trouble dealing with. And ultimately, I was able to squeak out a win because of how Soul Bond works, where you don't have to declare who you're soul bonding with until the trigger has resolved, and at that point, too late to interact.
Happened. Yeah.
As long as you have enough mana where you can like untap in response to things, and I had so much mana. So I got really, I mean, it was convenient there. I had enough counter magic to stay off the few things that happened. I was able to pull off the win there, and then the top four. You know, you already said who it was. We didn't play that. But you know,
and that would have been a very difficult game. I'm kind of glad we didn't play it because we were split between 1 and 3. So we had and I mean it's 3 combo decks effectively. With Seb in 4th position. So you'd have you trying to make an attempt. And then this weird thing where we skip over, player 2 who's playing control, and then between myself and Seb trying to make an attempt, and then you maybe potentially capitalize. That would have been a god awful pod to actually, for player skill level. I feel anyway.
I think it would have been fun. Obviously, I'm biased because I was in seat 1, so Alkadron made a comment in round 4. I offered a draw because if a draw would lock me in seat 1 for the finals, which I cared about. Whereas if Alkadron won, he passed me for seat 1. And no one, I don't think anyone else was live for seat 1 in our pod, so it didn't matter. And the other 2 were actually playing to try to get in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
A draw would put one of them for sure in, but then one of them for sure out. And so we played. But Alk was like, I don't know why you cared so much about that game. And I was like, because I want to be seat 1 because Weavers in seat 1 feels great. I'm just trying to do my thing super fast. I'm not caring about what other people are doing. I'm just caring about protecting what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so having a whole extra land drop ahead of everyone when I'm already ramping is huge. So
I can't disagree with that. I looked at it. I can't remember exactly how long your 4 turn round 1 lasted. Mine was about 15 minutes, and we were playing not slowly, but at a regular normal interval. There was nothing playing fast. For you guys, I imagine because you started so late, that there's probably this emphasis on all right, let's get moving. We're already behind when you were going to have extra. So you probably had a couple 2 turns of land go, and then you got to the meat of the turn 3 and turn 4, and then it's done.
It was pretty quick. We had a giant time extension, so I don't think time was really worried. I just, I went for it. I had turn 3 Lay Weaver into turn 4 raid, and I had a counter spell to back it up. So it was not particularly exciting, but
I stopped using my face cam in tournaments a couple tournaments ago, and at the end of turn 3, because I was in seat 1 for my first round as well. At the end of the round, coming back to me before the turn was passed, Quartz in seat 3 was like, "You're gonna win on turn 4, aren't you?" And I had this big grin on my face. I was like, thank God my face cam's not on, because it's it's gonna happen. So we passed a turn, I do the thing, and everybody's who? Seat 1 in Weavers is awesome. And as Bobby kind of somewhat lightly alluded to, if you start off in seat 1 and start winning, even if your first round you're not in seat 1, if you can chain at least 2 wins together, the likelihood of you being in seat 1, so it further exacerbates the Weaver's problem of being in seat 1. So as you progress through, I know I experienced this in my my RIW win with Weavers. Once you get those first couple, then you're always in seat 1, and it's gas, or at least try until people start talking and figuring out what the hell you're doing. So
yeah, I mean, that only happens in like elimination rounds. You might have just gotten a string of really lucky. Because well, you start off in seat 1 in the first 2 games of this tournament too, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe you just got the lucky touch to always be in seat 1, and I would like that.
I mean, so. Look at this face.
Yeah. But yeah, no. The deck is good. It's even better when it gets to have a turn ahead of everyone. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a good question to ask. I asked you at the end of the tournament last night, but I think it bears repeating. Or as the professor would say, repetition. Jesus. Why did you pick Weavers?
Yeah, so I just wanted to not think. I don't know. So last weekend I played in Riches to Rags in Philadelphia. Played Floodgate. That deck doesn't do anything fast. Mm-hmm. And it was fun. I enjoyed playing that. But online, I've talked about this before, I think. Online, everything just is slower. There's the communication lag, between whatever. There's the making things clear that are hard. It's just harder to clarify things when you're not in person, like being able to touch and point and like look at other people's stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't want to be too slow of a deck. I didn't want to I just wanted to be a problem, essentially. Like, I just wanted people to have to worry about me instead of me worrying about them. And there's just more aggressive decks that are trying to win faster. Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted to try to win fast too. Not that, and there's the whole Weavers versus Gretchen debate or whatever. I just wanted to be on Weavers just because, my version of Gretchen right now is built to be a little more slower. Maybe I update that, but I was like, well, I already have a Weavers list I like that's fast, so I'm just going to do that.
Yeah. So. I agree with that sentiment. For me, the Weavers list that I have, the burden is in the deck building. So if I've done everything that I feel, I treat it very much like a pit crew on a drag strip. So all of the work happens in the workshop, and then when you get to the start line, it's go. That's all you do is go. Well, you got a mulligan. So your work is in the mulligan, and that's about the most thinking that you do in the first couple of turns. If you get interrupted, then maybe you have my game against Dax in round 4 was a definitely a thinking, like a puzzle that I had to kind of solve, and I got super lucky that conditions out of my control were met, and I was able to kind of, because he had I always forget the name of that Krark Clan shaman. Yep. Mm-hmm. He had one on board, and I actually miscounted. I thought he had 3 artifacts on board, and as it turns out, he had sacrificed down to 2 with the previous gut attack. And my plan was, if he activates this thing, then basically he's going to wipe the board, and I'm going to force him to sacrifice 3 artifacts to kill the skeleton tokens as well. Because if we're all going to get reset, we're all going to get reset.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, he did not have that extra artifact. So I play snap on his board wipe to get him to activate the thing. In response to him activating, I put a +1/+1 counter on Lay Weaver, taking it out of 2 damage range, and moved to my turn, and there we go.
Ta-da.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Just like VODs is a format.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
And if you don't know, subscribe to Clay's only. Patreon.
So I gotta figure out. I gotta ask them to take that off when note to the folks out there who are interested in becoming a patron and are alarmed by the 18 plus warning. There was a certain point in time where there was a possibility that an underage patron would be a concern. I think we are beyond that point now. So I can try to petition to have, ironically, there's not a switch that you can flick to, take that off. You have to actually email them. So yeah. Also, never mind the feet pics. So you had made mention that we're 26 cards different for our lists.
Yeah.
I know why mine is built the way that mine is built. Why is yours built the way yours is built?
Yeah, so mine's largely borrowed from another person, but the whole idea behind the original version of the list was do whatever you can to have turn 2 or 3 Weaver, and then from there just try to win, right? Like whatever that means. If it's turn 4, like get Weaver ahead of turn 4 basically is just like the whole goal of the deck. Because you can get it out, maybe people aren't holding early interaction, and then you're just that much further ahead. And if you don't have Weaver, you still probably have an untapper you use to get to Weaver early that is going to get ignored potentially because the focus is going to be on the Weaver, and then you can still try to squeak out a win there. So that's why looking at our list, I have the 1 mana dorks, right? That are just tap for 1.
So what's interesting, and this is a good point, a good part to kind of like do the comparative. So your mana dorks and my stony strengths are the exact same thing.
They're similar, yeah. So
my goal is to get a fast Ley Weaver as well. I just use the spell based stuff versus the permanent base ramp.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So they're similar there. And then I'm looking. They're not like you have more draw spells. I don't have like any in the deck. So I was just relying on mulliganing aggressively, and then also just the redundancy that is we got a chunk of tutors, we got a chunk of untapped things, and if I have to pump a bunch of mana into Lore Weaver, right? Like that's never the ideal plan, but it happens enough that it's fine.
I'll make you a deal. Pick one card in my thing and tell me you hate it, and I'll pick one card in yours and tell you I hate it. Go.
All right, you go first.
No. Okay, so this one's easy because I've gone on record. It's Immobilizing Ink. I think it's a Gretchen card. I think it's a slow, big mana card, and if you're trying to go fast in Weavers, you're typically going to have a little bit of mana. Now, granted, if you make the long game, which occasionally happens, you might have the mana available for Ink, but in the late game where I win, it's usually not because I'm flipping Ink over and then going through the weird math to make that work. It's because I flipped over another freed correlate and won with that.
Yeah, no, I don't think Ink is like amazing, right? But it is another one that's there. It's a little, when you play it, and we're on the same land auras, I think, for the most part, so that's not a difference we're talking about. But like, it's really nice with Weaver because you get to untap 2 lands, so you get to diversify your lands, and that's why I like it. It does require a hefty amount of mana to combo with the Weavers because Lore Weaver costs so much more to activate. I think it ends up actually being the same as Gretchen in terms of like requirements. It's just harder to get to that initial point because you have to get the mana first to start that, which is like a bigger obstacle. Like the start point requires more mana. I don't think it's great. It's just like another redundant piece of like the piece that has the fewest.
I mean, I get it.
Redundancies.
I get it. I'm not a fan of. Yeah, I don't want to have to do math on top of math.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And it is also awkward because if you don't win with it, your creature does not untap, which matters. I've had that come up before. So, yeah, I mean, looking at your list now, I hate Surprise and Scary. I hate the depletion lands. Yeah, they let you, to the fast point, like they do let you be fat, like do the fast thing at the cost of, you only get to do it for 2 turns and then you're down a land drop, right? And so you really have to make the most of it. And you can with this deck. It's not hard to, but I just want to have lands. And like if you're starting with that, that means you can't commit land auras as early because that's one less land you want to enchant because it's going to go away. I've never liked depletion lands. I'm not normally like a turbo person that goes, eggs basket.
Yeah.
So that's my. I had to pick one.
I like it because most of your land auras are in the 3 bucket. So knowing that I'm going to lose a land, what it does is help me. I don't get ahead on mana, but what it does is help me land that, because it's the same reason why I have more draw spells. Typically, I'm looking for either another +1/+1 counter effect or an aura. I'm never looking for a freed correlate because I mulligan to the damn thing and I have it in my hand. But typically, like the scary kind of helps me either, with the draw spells and getting more out of that, or with the land auras. And I mean, I do not disagree with you at all on the downsides of it, but it's a risk,
Yeah, that's all. I mean, like, all the cards are defensible, right? There's not like a right or wrong necessarily. It's just like preference. Like, it can be viewed similar to like, Nature's Lore 3 visits that I'm running, right? Like they are there to serve very similar functions. It's just how you're doing it. And both are fine. Both are defensible. It's just what you prefer. So
no, this is I was actually anxiously anticipating this part of the discussion because I've had my list, my Weaver's list called crap, multiple times, and it's just a matter. It's built to me, It's what I want to be doing. I don't think anyone can say that I don't pilot this list well. So I mean, this is what I do right here. Boom.
Yeah. And that's with any cPDH deck, any deck really, like you're going to have it tailored to your liking. Just like the sheer like variance in any game, a couple cards difference is not going to make a huge difference until you're at sample sizes of, hundreds of games, right? So like, as long as you're not playing like a card that does actual nothing and like is bad, like, or actively hurts what you're doing, which isn't happening in any of the lists I've seen. Object It's fine. Like you can get spicy with it. You don't have to get spicy with it. Like it doesn't matter. Like people, puzzle box is Gretchen list, right? Like it's the most viewed one. It's one people go to. Puzzle hasn't played in a hot minute. His list isn't the most up to date, and like we talk about it, but. I had someone tell me recently, like, they were just playing Puzzles version, so it wasn't even that good. I'm like, Puzzle version won 2 tournaments. It's still completely fine. The deck hasn't changed that much. Like, it's still very, like, I played with Puzzles list in Chicago in a game and won. Like, it's fine. Like, so, it's really easy for people to get, like, nitpicky about, like, the last few cards or whatever, but, like, at the end of the day, they don't, like, if they're all doing similar enough things, it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, case in point, our lists are 26 cards different. Your focus is fast mana in the form of creatures. My focus is fast mana in the forms of untapped spells. Like, I mean, they're both rituals in their own right.
Yeah.
It's just an approach. I mean, could be something could be said that you won 4 games and I won 2, but that could be any number of things between matchups and player skill.
Well, no. But yeah, no. I mean, people like to nitpick about the last few cards, and I'm always on the opinion that like I have my preferences. You can have your preferences. At the end of the day. overall impact minimal. There's a lot that goes into game. It's not just card choice. Like, if I had played against a pod that was like, Hollow Marauder, Gut Alexios, right? I probably would have had a hell of a time and lost, right? Like, there's so much that goes into it, and like I got, there's a combination of luck that goes into it, a combination of like, mulliganing and mullining to the table, which is important. But like the deck, I don't think there's any like reason not to play either of these, and I think you can expect to win a good chunk of the time with both. So.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I noticed that you're on Winds Indicon. Like for the longest time, I played a land animation package. I also play Trinket Mage, to tutor and stuff like that. Yeah, all of these are fine,
Yeah. The Winds Indicon was new for this. I added it like the day before the tournament. Mm-hmm. I also recently added Life Spark Spellbomb and Trinket Mage package to Gretchen as well. So one, like, this deck especially has a haste problem, right? Like, we're not running haste enablers really, so you have to rely on something sitting around. Gretchen sometimes ran a haste enabler, sometimes ran like a Hydra form, like land animator. And I used to be really against land animators because if your enchanted land gets blown up, you are so far behind. Then like it's unreal. But what I found is like people know you have the haste problem, and so if you don't have an untapper, they're not as scared of you. This is more of an issue. This is more of something in Gretchen than is here, but the same holds true here too. People may think you're further from comboing than you are if you have like a Winds Indicon or a land animator, and Winds Indicon's committing 1 extra blue mana to your combo untapper, right? It's not hard to set up, and so they let you kind of pull the wins out of nowhere a little more often. And in the games where you are getting like just everything eaten, they give you like a unique angle, and that's you also have like Snap Archaeomancer lines that can do the same thing too, but those require a little bit more setup usually.
7 mana.
Yeah, and then in Gretchen, you have Oboe Breezeclaw lines, which again require a chunk of setup. But I've kind of had these like land animators grow on me as of late, as the hostility towards the Simic decks grows and grows, and hey, we got to make sure untappers don't get let loose and generate tons of advantage. So
no, I mean sound plan, definitely a sound plan. I'm looking at it like is it time, because I have the Snap Archaeomancer line in. It's mainly in for because I do play so many instants draws and whatnot, mainly as a redundant piece for that, and it just so happens to work out that Snap can be a ritual, or it can be a infinite combo. Like, why?
Yeah, the cards happen to also be good.
Why not?
Yeah.
So no, I love this type of conversation where we can appreciate each other's like tech pieces and that sort of thing. So no, this is good. Yeah. And god damn it, let it serve to all of you folks out there. If you're putting together some sweet PDH lists and somebody's like, well, I wouldn't play that, bump them, to hell with those people. Play your game, do your thing.
Play your fun cards every now and then. I mean, if they end up being back, don't be afraid to cut them also, but
yeah,
everything's worth trying.
Have a realistic recursive relationship with your choices, and there are no sacred cows. So, don't be afraid to cut where appropriate. Sweet. Well, man, that's not an hour, but is there anything from the tournament that you feel like we didn't cover? I think we nailed it on the head.
No, I think check out the deck list for sure, because there are some sweet ones. I want to shout out. I thought Azrael's Beam Splitter Mage deck was really, really cool. I had tinkered with it before, never really played it. I think I played a game or two with it. He was playing it. He had some Magmacan Artillerist lines. I think it's really sweet. I love that card, and I'm trying to make it work in like 1,000 different decks, and I haven't finished any of them yet. The Rhino, the Rhino is obviously cool. Everyone's wanted it for a while. You know, I'm glad for those people who wanted it. It did its thing a few times. It was cool to see. And then, you know, it was cool. And like Xiaojun, you know, I love that deck. I love blue red control. I love pinging.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I mean, yeah, just look at all the lists. There's a lot of sweet stuff.
So there was 2 Cormella lists. There was 2 Disciple of Deceit lists. And that's the thing. All of them were different from each other. So I think one Cormella was like a knack list, and another one was a you know, the typical combo lines, but also like a curiosity control kind of shell. And then
Tony was on. Tony and I were talking a couple of days leading up to the tournament. He was on a knack list, and I was really excited to see that deck kind of do its thing. He stumbled in Mana the one game I watched him play, just like bad luck, but I think that deck's also sweet.
Yeah, so so knack lines have been around for a while. They're relatively low, you know, lowly explored, non-explored territory. That's what I'm looking for. They have not been explored very deeply or extensively. So I think it's fun when people take existing combo lines and then try to put them in different outlets, because one of the disciples was a neck combo deck as well. Like I would not have thought to try to do that, you know, with Disciple of Deceit, which is a commander that's been around for ages as well. So yeah, there's so many avenues to explore, so much space to still explore. And I love the fact that we're seeing these being pushed, you know, some of these what's the word I'm looking for? Non-traditional meta decks.
Like the lesser known. You look at the last. So this tournament in Philly, which was last weekend, right? Or there's so many new the Disciple won that tournament, the knack version. There's a Not Vine Mystic deck that made the finals. I played Flaygate like a madman. OG made the finals. Like OG's a deck I don't think I've ever seen do anything in a tournament. At least I don't remember. It could have. Who knows? But like, there's still tons of room to explore. There's still like commanders that are like known that could be explored further. Like, you know, Cormella we talked about, Disciple we talked about. Those aren't like unknown commanders. They're just being tinkered with in different ways now. And so, yeah, still plenty of room to explore. It's awesome seeing it. And, you know, as new cards come out, they're going to bring new life to certain old commanders too, which is cool.
Yeah. And I guess we've got more Seed Rhino on the horizon as it actually becomes legitimate. I don't know.
Graveyard hate.
I've had my doubts on Siege Rhino. I guess I'm gonna have to change my tune.
I have my doubts too. I mean, it did its thing a little yesterday, and I was more impressed by it than I thought I would be. But I think it has some issues, but so does every deck, right? So just being prepared for it and knowing what you're getting into. One of the big things that came up. So like in the game I played against Seb. Was it Seb? I don't even know. I had back-to-back games against the Rhino, so I don't remember which one is which, but I had to explain the combo lines that were good. So it was probably Seb's about how he was gonna win, so that someone else, you know, knew, hey, here's where and when we need to interact. Like, and so
because persist isn't all that common. So if you're using a persist combo, you might have a little bit of an edge, especially right now, because not many people know where the pain points are and when they're going to go off. So that's a great point. Yeah.
And so we'll continue to see that with different lists too, like Knack, same way. Like there are weird spots to interact, and knowing when to interact without getting blown out is important. So yeah, I'm excited to keep seeing how things develop and shape moving forward. And
I think we're in a good spot. I think everything's going to be fine.
And we have a bunch of new 3-color commanders coming, so who knows what it looks like.
Yeah, and I'm not sure we've seen them all yet because we're only in the bye week or midweek of the spoiler season. So by the time this comes out and we hear us talking about it, I mean, we don't know. We're idiots to the full spoiler. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I guess Final Fantasy is coming after that, and I don't have high expectations for anything for the format from there, but I mean,
who knows?
So
no one thought anything of Assassin's Creed, and then now look, Xiaojun or Alk. One of the two is very good, possibly both. So
I likely both. I don't think after Alk's first
Alk's
year,
definitely good. Yeah.
Alk's first performance, year performance with the stuff that he was bringing, I don't think people expected him to turn up with this thing. So maybe it just took him that long to get serious. I don't even think that he's serious now.
I don't know if he can be serious, but he knows how to play the hell out of that deck. So
yeah, 100%. Kind of putting a further, deeper benchmark stamp on find a list that is reflective of you and your play style, and you would do well.
And then win with Flame Rift.
Twice.
Win with your spicy cards.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Flame Rift, I've seen him do that twice on stream. Win with a Flame Rift. What a freaking madman.
It's perfect.
So to end this out, word on the street is you're going to do some big things here, or maybe they're all incorrect. Maybe you're going to do nothing coming up. So the people want to know, what's Bobby's next month, 2 months, 3 months look like?
Oh,
now that I put you on a fucking spot.
Well,
what a jerk.
Immediate future, busy with work and life and things, but I'm gonna be at MagicCon Vegas, so that's in June. So that's 3 months out. Dax is taking over Sanctuary and run all the tournaments, so I won't be involved in that anymore. I don't know if it'll be immediately, as soon as the next couple months. But my next goal is to try to work on making some big in-person tournament stuff happen. So starting Sanctuary was all about making online tournaments a thing, trying to get more other people to do the same thing as well. And, because I like playing in tournaments. And so getting people to do that. So one, I'm giving something to people to play in, and also helping other people create something I want to play in. So there's a selfish component to that too. But I really like going to Philly, going to RIW, going to MagicCons, playing Pauper Commander in person with all these people is fun. And so having an excuse to, take a vacation and go play, the game I love with people I enjoy hanging out with. I love that. So I want to make that happen more. So my goal is kind of work on making some type of big in-person event happen. What that looks like yet. I have ideas of what I want it to be. I also have ideas of, where it could realistically be early versus what it could turn into. But that's going to be my focus in terms of projects in PDH space. And then I'm still going to be playing PDH, online here and there. I'll probably be on PAL streams a little more. Doing some
streaming, doing some hosting.
But yeah. I'm not just disappearing into nothingness. So sorry if anyone wanted that. But
take me with you.
Yeah.
Take me with you.
Yeah.
So we can all agree, I think Bobby did the smart thing and is taking his toys and he's going home. No, I for one am super excited at the advent of in-person events, sponsored and, put by you, held by you. I think it goes without saying that as soon as I have a date, if reasonable, I will be on a plane, as long as I get to stay with the cool kids. I haven't been invited to stay with the cool kids here lately. I'm just messing with you. I'm actually glad I stayed in the hotel versus the Airbnb for this Chicago trip.
Yeah, I think you were the winner there. So
yes, sir. So no, I look forward to whatever in-person thing you got coming, because I know if it's a reflection of the experience at Sanctuary these last couple of years, it'll be what did the kids say? Something like pimp tight. Yeah, it'll be awesome. It'll be straight dog. Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
I'm probably breaking out that 90s lingo. Sometimes it'll come back in fashion, right? I mean, they said groovy, after a while, right?
Yeah, eventually.
Coolio, daddy-o.
Might be a little early to that, but yeah.
I'm bringing it back, Bobby.
Yeah.
No, I'm super excited for what you got going on. So, I guess until then, you still have... Do you have personal socials?
Yeah, I'm making them now. I'm still in the process of giving everything to Dex and transferring. There's a lot of fun that goes with transferring things that have my name attached to them and, various identifiers. Financials
and stuff, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still on Discord everywhere. I have a Reddit account. I think I need to make an individual Blue Sky and Twitter, but I'll do that.
You have a personal Mox field, I think.
Yeah, and the Mox field's mine. It has all my lists on there. They're all public, so all the ones I want to be public at least. But Weavers is, Flagate is, all the good ones are. So
I mean the two places that I know that you'll be at. So if you're not a part of the PDH Pod Discord server, I know you're in there. And then the PDH Pals Discord server, I damn sure know that you're in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be in home base. I'll be places. I'll be reachable. So I may not be as active in the cPDH spaces all the time, but people, if you need to get a hold of me, I can get held up.
Smoke signals, carrier pigeon, you know, put a whisper on the wind. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, reach out to Scooby Drew. He'll dox me probably. Who knows?
Absolutely. I still have your address.
Yeah, or Clay will dox me. Who knows?
Well, it's just for me. I got to send you more tokens of things that you don't want. So
perfect.
Sweet. All right, folks. I think we're at 48 minutes. Not our shortest, not our longest, but I think it's definitely fitting for celebrating this hero to the meta in the format. I know you didn't want that, but I just gave it to you anyway. He's done a lot of work in helping support everything that we do in this community, and your touch is definitely going to be missed. But I'm grateful, and I think everybody watching this would agree, that I'm grateful that you are finding joy in Pauper Commander wherever it is that you go. Wherever you go, whoever you hang out with. So I'm happy for you.
Remind me to have you talk at my funeral. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, then you gotta be dead first, and I don't think I want that.
All right. Well, I'll put it in my will. You won't have a choice.
I mean, you'll probably speak at my funeral before I speak at yours. Sweet.
No comment.
All right, folks. Love you, mean it. We'll see you on the flip. Peace out.